Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 5, episode 6, and my word, we've been tested in the last couple of months. It's been a really tough time for the club, despite our continuing decent success on the pitch. There is one positive on the home screen which you can see immediately. That's a man we've made a promise to at the bottom who's returned to the club. Rhys Williams, who left us halfway through the National League season. He's back again, but we've had to promise him promotion next season to get him here. He's one of a host of signings in January as we finally started to splash just a little bit of cash to get in players like Williams as well as some younger ones who can hopefully become the Williams of the future. So let's go and have a look at those transfers. We've got one who's joining us during the summer, David Crawford from Portadown, £28,500. He's only 18 at the moment, just turned, and what a fantastic young player he looks. Professional personality, so should improve, and he's one I'm really looking forward to managing. We might have to start looking at formations with a number 10 in, because with him and Richard Smith, we've got two good youngsters at the club then. Let's look at the ones that have already joined us though. Quite a busy January by our standards. We met Connor Courts in the last episode, the young right back we got from Aberdeen. We then signed Williams as we were hoping to. Definitely the best centre half for the club. He's playing with Johnny Byrne at the moment. Aaron Davis relegated to the bench, and my word, he's made a fuss about that. We've got a couple of other players who have made a fuss too, but we'll get back to that subject in a moment. So Rhys Williams is here and starting to find his feet. A record $185,000 for him, but we made that money back with the two we let go. We got Adam Lewis on a free as well. He was the left wing back we were talking about. He's so versatile, can cover a number of positions, has played left back, left wing, holding midfield and central midfield already, despite only making 6 appearances. Not the best trainer, which is an issue, but certainly a solid squad player, and scored 2 goals in his last outing. Next along the list is Connor T, a youngster we've signed from Leicester, not in the first team picture at the moment, but again has a little bit of potential. Our scouts actually thought he had more when he joined the club, but certainly we should be able to make a profit on him if he does well. 2.5 star ability, 3 star potential, but again that fairly professional personality, which we're starting to look for in the youngsters now. And then Ben Lovell we signed for 26,000. That was again a signing from Northern Ireland. Glenavon this time, where he's played over 100 games. A really solid centre half, 20 years of age, 2 star ability at the moment, but 4.5 potential. A perfect 4th choice for now, and again that fairly professional personality to hopefully help him develop while he's not playing. We're trying to develop our youth facilities again in the summer. We're really desperate to get an under-23 side, as it's what these guys need. We're trying to loan them out, but they're only really getting offered contracts in the National League and below, with clubs who won't allow them to develop in terms of their facilities. So a few good signings in January. We did loan out Janelle Bennett as a result of getting those few in, particularly the Adam Lewis one on the left wing and a couple of extra midfielders. Connor Courts was also crucial to that, as Nico Williams can now focus more on the right of midfield. We then sold our 2 centre halves. Jack Lee went to Maidstone, who obviously featured heavily in the last episode, as they've come up the leagues with us and gave us a great game there. He's gone for 1,200 a week. 100 grand's a great deal for him, and he's doing well there for them already. Then Jarvis Edabor was our 4th choice centre half. He went to Bradford's for 75,000, 70 of it guaranteed, and again not really a big player there, just a backup on over £1,000 a week. So a decent deal for us across the board, but we've certainly been tested with other potential transfers. If we go to our dynamics, Owen Jack won't talk to us at the moment. He was disappointed he couldn't join Villa. Obviously we played them in the FA Cup. They were in the top half of the Premier League, and they finally tested us with a 4.1 million bid, which sounds an awful lot and a great deal to take, but unfortunately most of that was based on him playing in the future, which we can't guarantee at that level. It was only working out to about 900,000 of guaranteed money, and that's just not enough for Owen Jack. If they'd been negotiable and allowed us to work on fees ourselves, then we could have negotiated something, but I'm not willing to give him away for what could only be £1 million. We had the same issue with John Richards, our young centre midfielder. Not getting too much football here at the moment. We're trying to develop his personality off the pitch. He's just a bit balanced at the moment, works really hard, but he's not got that determination to improve in training. The maximum bid we got for him was rising to 1.4 and 1.6 million respectively, but again a lot of that was in future potential fees fees for appearances, international caps even with Wales, and we just can't risk that for a player who might not reach that potential. So unless we get a chance to negotiate an upfront deal with either sell-on fees or monthly instalments, rather than all these fees based on certain things happening, we won't be accepting deals like that. The other one was Eamon McCabe, the young left back. He was first choice last year, been a bit more of a backup this season. We got an offer raising to around 1.2 for him. That was from Middlesbrough, but again, only around half of it was guaranteed. And this guy I don't think is going to make it due to his lax attitude. So I don't really want to risk giving away money. If we're going to get the deals, we need most of the money to be guaranteed. But we've got a few players who haven't spoken to us, who are unhappy, still unhappy now in the case of Davis and Jack. Alex Bass had a brief spell as well, but we told him he wasn't going anywhere and he was happy enough. The hero soldier's on, training well, still developing well, and 3.5 star ability. He's now a top League One keeper. You can see he's improving all the time, and I just feel like he can take us all the way to the Premier League. There's one other player who deserves a quick mention. Let's see if we can find him. Greg Weir. He's not a man that's played much this season. We signed him from Alloa just like Owen Jack at the start of the season. He was around £4,000 or £5,000 and he came along with low determination and a really poor personality. He's developing really well. He's been in a mentoring group with some of the older, stronger midfielders and it's really starting to pay off now. He's up to balanced. He's developing physically. He's developing his passing range and I really think come next season he could be ready to loan out and get football at a higher level. He's doing really well in training, so I just thought he deserved a special mention. And then finally, before the game, let's go and have a look at the schedule for what's been happening since the last episode. A disappointing one with 2 poor results on the pitch. We've had a relatively decent run since until the last 3 games, where it's all started to go a little bit wrong. So we won on penalties against Chelsea in the Trade Trophy. Obviously it was only the under-23s with not many star names, Mason Mount being the only one, who happened to miss one of the penalties. Elliot Lee missed his in the shootout, but he'd already got us to penalties by scoring one in the 90 minutes. So we were happy enough with him. We then followed up with a 2-0 winner home to Coventry in the league. The 2 box-to-box midfielders doing the job in that one before we got absolutely trounced at Portsmouth. An own goal the only reason we got on the score sheet. It was the first game after Owen Jack Stropper not being able to leave and he suffered for a few games after, to be honest. We had Doncaster at home next, scraped a 2-1 win. Owen Jack did score a goal in this one, but it practically hit him rather than him taking a shot. And then a 1-0 win in the Trade Trophy. Elliot Lee getting us through again in the next round before we played Bolton in the league in the last game of January. Owen Jack back to form with a brace there, but still wouldn't talk to us. McKendry got the first in that one, and he scored a couple of goals in recent games actually. He's doing quite well on the left, considering we couldn't get a good replacement. Lewis has done okay when needed, but McKendry's probably still first choice. We beat Gillingham 4-1 moving into the new month. A brilliant hat-trick from Owen Jack as the transfer interest died down. Reece Williams got his first goal back at the club too, before we've got 3 disappointing performances since. 2-0 away at Swindon, where we got absolutely outplayed. A 1-1 draw at home to Bradford, where we dominated the first half but didn't make our possession count, and Bradford caught us out in the second. And then in the Trade Trophy semi-final, 1 game from Wembley, and we threw it away in the 93rd minute. Adam Lewis got a brace. Aaron Davis scored one of the worst own goals you'll ever see. McKay picked up a knock and we threw it away with seconds to spare. We'd done well on penalties last time out against Chelsea, so I'd kind of fancied our chances, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. I'm sure we'll have one more season in League One, so we won't have to worry about that being our final chance to win it. If we go and look at the League One table, we're actually up in 4th place at the moment. The top 2 are running away with it. We're playing one of them today, and it's probably actually our last chance to have an outside sniff of promotion, but I don't think it's going to be the case. And you can see how tight it is from 3rd down, just 6 points separating the top 10 to there. And unfortunately, it looks like we might be one of the ones to miss out due to our poor goal difference and the number of games we lose. So let's get into that game. We're away to 2nd place Charlton. A win gives us a remote outside chance. Anything else, and I think we can finally wipe away chances of the top 2. It's still been a remarkable season for our first year back at this level, but we've got a lot of work to do if we want to be more consistent at the top. And just finally, by the time the next episode comes around, we'll have our youth intake ready. It will have been through, and hopefully I'll have someone to be excited about. If we look at the facilities at the moment, we've got average junior coaching and above average youth recruitment. So I'm really looking forward to what that can produce, particularly now we've got another agreed upgrade for our facilities for both training and youth facilities next year. So fingers crossed they'll do the trick, but let's have a look at the lineup for today's game. Charlton are heavy favourites as you'd expect given their form this season. Although we're only 2 places behind them, they're a long way clear. We haven't picked our 7th sub yet. We forgot to go and get the homegrown player in. We're just picking the keeper normally, so hopefully he'll do the trick for us. Let's get him in there and go back and go through the lineup. It's fairly familiar now. One of the new signings, Reece Williams, is obviously in all the time, but aside from that, the rest are relegated to the bench or reserves. It's Bass in goal, Facey and Kenlock the fullbacks with Byrne and Williams centre-half, rolling back the conference years with that centre-half partnership. McDonald in the holding role with Butcher and McComb, just because Jack Clark's picked up a knock. Nelson's got a knock too, so we're a few players short at the moment. And Nico Williams and McKendry on the wings behind Owen Jack. He still won't talk to us, but as long as he's scoring, we're happy. We're missing a few as we mentioned. Ben Lovell, the new centre-half, and McCabe as well are out. So 4 players that potentially would have been in the squad. And Rowan Ince is tired from his midweek exploits too. Of the new signings, Courts and Lewis are on the bench, but I don't know that they'll be prime candidates to come on. So let's get into the game and see if we can keep our top 2 chances alive. It's a very attacking 4-4-2 for Charlton. Those 2 wingers pushed right up the pitch, as well as 2 strikers as well. Let's tell them to go out and get revenge, and fingers crossed the lads will go out with extra motivation. It's Charlton with the kick-off though, as Bulldog gets the ball into Smith in midfield. Hopefully this highlight will end without damage. If that's Carl Norton at right back, he must be getting on a bit now. It's Judge with a free kick for them. Dangerous position. Reece Williams wins the header. It bobbles down to Norton, and his shot goes wide from the edge of the box. First chance to Charlton, but it remains goalless after 5. Bass in goal for us with a long kick. Over the top towards Jack. It's brought down by the centre-half and now Judge. Out to Bulldog. Norton. Out to the right-hand side. Charlton looks certainly the more confident in possession, and they've had over 60% of it too. As they hit the post from the edge of the box, Onyedima was just given so much room to run into, and in the end it was only the woodwork that denied him. 20 minutes gone, and we're just about holding on. Nearly half an hour on the clock, it's Judge with a free kick. McComb heads it away as far as Gordon. Gray's second tackle, now Butcher away to Jack. Beats his first man, beats the second. Garbutt brings him down. It might be a red, you know. He might have been deemed to be in there by the referee. Let's see what he produces. Just a yellow. Probably fair, but we can be optimistic, can't we? Let's see if that makes any difference, or if Charlton just resumed domination. Onyedima down to Smith. Judge on the edge with a blocked shot, and now he's got a chance to get possession again. Bulldog in the centre circle to Judge. Now Smith keeping the ball in the middle there. Over the top, which Kenlock heads away, but it's out to that right-hand side. Into Abrahams, drops nicely for Bennett. Puts it in for his 15th for the season, and closing him down certainly didn't work there. Charlton deserved their lead, but it's disappointing in the manner we've given it away. 10 minutes to the break, they lead 1-0, and now they're on the attack again with Garbutt. The voice is going again. It's still a problem a week and a half later, but we'll manage to get by as this is just a single header. It's another corner after a great save by Bass. Abrahams with a free header at the near post, but it's just gone over the bar as Bass looked to be beaten. Judge with a free kick again. Williams heads it away, only as far as Abrahams on the edge. He certainly didn't head it either. I don't know why I said that. Here's Corey Smith 25 yards out. Finds Bulldog. Plays a 1-2 with him. There's no pressure on them whatsoever. You'd barely believe we're playing a high pressing game, would you? Corey Smith 30 yards again. So much time to rebuild. Byrne and Williams head it away, but it's straight back to them in the middle again. Abrahams finds Bennett. Back to Smith. They're just keeping the ball, running us ragged and waiting for us to run out of steam. I'm sure they'll take advantage in the second half. McKendry's got the ball as we win it back, and can we finally counter and nick an undeserved equaliser? Out to Nico Williams on the right. Inside, switches it to Kenlock. We've got 3 or 4 in the box if he can find them, but he runs straight into Kyle Norton, and it's come away with Charlton. Onyedima charging at the defence again. No pressure at all, but he gives it away to Butcher. It's a throw on the left for Kenlock, just a minute to the break. McDonald plays a 1-2, but his cross is straight into the arms of Vickers, and it's absolutely terrible delivery from the fullback. A long ball finds Onyedima. Kenlock's being run ragged by him, and we don't even have the substitute McCabe to bring on. Onyedima gets a free shot again. We can't deal with him as he cuts in from that right, but he's put it over the bar, and at half-time we trail 1-0. Let's talk to the lads. What does the assistant recommend? We sympathise with them. No chance at all. Show something else, and most of them are fired up. We've got the kick-off with Jack to McComb. I feel like once Jack gives away his strop and starts to play for us again and get the players back on side, we'll be okay. It's just the fact that he's one of the highly influential players, and he's unfortunately pulling the strings of some of the lads at the moment. He's really unhappy, and he's making them know about it. He's getting some of the squad on side, and that's probably where some of Aaron Davis' disappointment came from. The fact that not that he was being replaced, but that his mate was unhappy too. Onyedima's running into the box, gets a free shot on goal for the third time, and Alex Bass makes a comfortable save on this occasion. Nearly an hour gone, and we'll be making some early changes in this one. It's a corner for Charlton, judged to the back post. Williams winning the header, showing why he's good in the air. That 19 jumping reach is so important, but unfortunately we've been poor aside from that today, and it looks like Owen Jack's not going to get the service he needs, which surely won't help cheer him up anytime soon. They've got the ball in the middle with Forster-Caskey. Out to Bennis, the goal scorer on the left, but it's deflected off the fullback and it's out for a throw. Hopefully we'll get a bit of respite. Just a quarter of the game left. We haven't seen any more attacks. Kenlock's going to come off. He's had a poor game. Adam Lewis will come on in that full-back role. McComb's not been great either. And we're trying to get minutes into John Richards. So we'll drop it back to their normal shape. Both men will be box-to-box midfielders. And Butcher will return to his preferred left-hand side with his natural footedness. Nico Williams is just back from injury. So we'll get List on for him. And let's just see if we can nick an equaliser from somewhere. Rowan McDonald picks up a yellow card as we finally come forward. Butcher gets the ball from McDonald. Plays a 1-2. Back to the centre half, Williams. He's going to go inside to Burn, is he? No, all the way back to Alex Bass when he's got the ball in the opposing half. That is terrible. Bass goes long, gives it away straight away. It falls down for McDonald and Butcher though. Are we going to take the same route again? No, Williams goes over the top this occasion. Jack's shot's blocked. He had no support in the box, so just had to go for the spectacular. It's over the top from Bennett's, the goal scorer, to Abrahams. He's got no support at the moment. Holds it up for ages though. Onyedima arrives at the back post under no pressure, but thankfully for our sake, he puts it just wide. Bass with a long goal kick up towards Jack. Brings it down brilliantly to beat Baldock. Into the box and the shot's blocked. Forster-Caskey beats us to the second challenge and McDonald has to recycle possession, but the highlight ends before we see what he does with it. Bass with a long goal kick again. Abrahams knocks it down only as far as Elliot List, the sub. He finds Owen Jack. Out to McKendry on the left. There's 4 in the box. Jack's one of them. Hits the crossbar and is cleared away. That was the best chance of the match we've had for sure. Facey with a throw in from the right for List again. Wins it back for Richards. Baldock heads the cross away. Butcher gets it out to Lewis, the overlapping left back, but he didn't read it quick enough and Onyedima clears. Williams goes long downfield though. The knockdown finds Butcher. Here's McDonald over the top. Garber heads it away only as far as List. Delivers to the front post. McBaldock heads away and Butcher from the edge is blocked. And now McKendry with a second shot, and it's a great deflection by Norton to get it above for a corner. A brilliant block, and McKendry's got the ball to swing in. Baldock wins the header for the umpteenth time and gets it away as far as McDonald. We've got that brilliant inflatable football in the corner, which we love so much in grounds like this. And to be fair, I think they're doing the Valley a bit of a disservice. O'Connor's got the ball in the middle for Charlton. What an effort that is. What a time to come back as well. Bass with a brilliant save to tip it over, and the fact we're only 1-0 down is largely down to him. Williams is in the 7s and Alex Bass, our keeper, is too, which shows how bad we've been in an attacking sense. O'Connor's got the ball in a dangerous position again. We know what happened last time he had it. Forced a brilliant save from the keeper. This time he plays it to Judge. It's a 1-2. They're keeping the ball in there. Onyedima to the back post and Bennett's looking dangerous again, but he's put it over the bar. A couple of minutes left and we're going to go attacking and see if we can nick one. Jack with a free kick on the edge. Oh, just wide of the post. I thought that was going to be the moment. He produces magic so much, but unfortunately this time, set pieces aren't his forte. We've seen it particularly from the penalty spot, but he takes a lot of free kicks and doesn't score many of them either. O'Connor's got the ball in the middle again. He finds Baldock. Back to O'Connor for the second time. Pearce in the middle of the pitch. He's got so much space to the left. Finds Keenan Bennett. Headed away by Facey though. McDonald flicks it on, and despite going attacking, we're still under the cosh now. We're back defending in our own half, 11 men behind the ball, and we deservedly lose 1-0, and it probably could have been more had it not been for Bass and Williams performing brilliantly. Despite losing, our best two players on the pitch were the centre-half and keeper, which just shows you how much defending we've had to do. We are going to sympathise with the lads, just because the assistants told us to twice, and hopefully we can get them back to winning ways against lower end of the table Southend at home. I wouldn't bank on it based on recent form, but fingers crossed we can achieve it. There's proof of the tight nature of the league. We dropped down to 6th. Our beloved Luton Town have just leapfrogged us, and now we're only 4 points away from being 11th, so it could go wrong very quickly here. But don't forget, we were expected to finish mid-table. If we can get in the top half, that would be a great achievement, although after being up there so long, we'd like to challenge for the playoffs. Let's have a quick look at the schedule for when we might next be back. There's some big games coming up. It will obviously largely depend on how close we are to the playoffs, if we start to fall away or climb our way back up. We will have a look at our youth intake in the next episode as well. It's due in the next week or two, so hopefully there'll be an absolute gem, and that will certainly cheer me up. It might even give me my voice back, who knows. But if you did enjoy this episode, please put a thumbs up on there. Let me know in the comments what you think of our January work. I think we're planning for the future quite well as continuing to make a profit at the club. But let me know if you disagree, and where are our main areas left to strengthen in the summer. Do you think we're still playing the right formation, or should we change it based on the players we've got coming in? Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories. This one part of the furniture, as well as our other series, The Head Coach. If you didn't see yesterday's episode, go back and check it out. We had a brilliant job offer and it was very dramatic. It was certainly one of my favourites of the series so far, so hopefully you'll enjoy it too if you haven't already. There's also weekly content every Friday from my FIFA 19 lower league career, as well as our Newcastle series from FM19 Touch, which we're coming towards the end of our final season. But a massive thanks for watching this one as always, and we'll see you next time.